wait 5 minutes, it'll be doing something else. So.
Yeah.
Alex, I know Loudon has been a tough track for not just for everybody, really, Chevrolets in general.
Yeah.
The last few years, 1 win in the last 17. Is that
wow,
something?
is it that bad? One Chevy win in the last 17 years?
Yeah, Harvick in 2016.
Okay.
So
that makes me feel way better about myself.
all right, so it's not just you. No, just kidding. So what do you feel like? Do you feel like that is something that can change this weekend, or is that something where Chevrolets just have had struggled with speed at this track?
Yeah, I mean, I think, hopefully we change it this weekend for sure. Obviously, trying every time we come here to be better, and some years have been better than others. Last year, obviously, was a pretty big struggle. So, hopefully we hit on it this week. I think we're way different than we've been in the past, and hopefully that pays off.
Does this beautiful weather we're having put a wrench in the works with no practice, or do you feel comfortable?
I feel pretty comfortable without practice and qualifying. On the Cup side, obviously, want to get a bunch of laps on the Xfinity side too. So hopefully we get that race in later today. But I mean, as far as the Cup race goes, I think we're going to start pretty decent if we don't qualify, and my qualifying record here isn't very good. So selfishly, I'm not too sad about it.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. No, obviously now it's raining, which kind of throws a wrench in things. How does when you have a rain delay or practice and qualifying is rained out, how does that change your approach to the weekend?
I think you just go drive as hard as you can in the race, kind of like COVID. You don't really have very many notes on the weekend or haven't been able to work on your car. So it's like COVID times when we show up and race. Green flag is the first lap on the racetrack of the race. So, we'll see how it goes. I think felt really good in the simulator. Taking a similar approach to what Almirola had here last year is pretty fast. And try and figure it out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Extra technology, and it's not the first one across the finish line. It's not, by the eye. I mean, I know how close it goes back. Is it something that's all of a sudden came up because it had to?
I guess probably.
Were you aware of that advanced technology prior to all the decision making that day?
No,
not trying to what I'm asking.
Not prior. Obviously, I have.
I've been going to racing 50 years. The finish line is the finish line.
Yeah, it was unbeknownst to me at the time, for sure, and obviously a lot of others. And I've been through it all now to the point where I've seen the system and how it all plays out and understand more. But yeah, in the moment, you're definitely fired up trying to figure out what's going on.
I could imagine. Like I say, the finish line's been the finish line for 60 years that I've been working. All of a sudden, this hidden technology, and they got to, being reactive, sometimes it's not the best look. If they're proactive, it's really fantastic. Hey, at least we found out something new.
We know now. We know now.
Chris, with you guys not having a win at this point in the season, you're right near the cut line. Do you feel any extra added pressure to go out there and perform on a week-to-week basis to make sure you don't fall behind those guys that are right behind you?
No, nothing extra. I promise the pressure we put on ourselves every week is always the same in figuring out how to win races, and no point situation is going to change that. I try to be very adamant about not being a points racer, not trying to get lost in that allure of it, but we're aware of our situation, but we're going to the racetrack with the same plan every week, and figuring out how we're going to win this one versus the last one, figure out what we did right, wrong week before, and ultimately we'll get down to the line and plan to have a win or two by the time we get to that cut. But we got work to do to figure out how to win this one ultimately.
They just canceled qualifying, but said that they're going to try to get in a practice.
Know these things
because they just said it on the radio. That's in my ear.
That's true, Chris.
Thank you. There's confirmation.
So is that? I mean, do you prefer to have maybe?
Yeah.
A
So
little
what
bit of
just
practice?
happened?
So
No qualifying.
No qualifying, but if there's time, you're going to try to practice.
Okay.
Have a short practice. So would you rather get some laps as practice rather than qualify and field set by them?
Yeah. I guess that'll probably put us 15th, maybe. So would have liked to have had a shot to better that. Last week wouldn't have hurt my feelings near as much. We'd have been in a much better spot. But Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a preference on really your situation, I would bet. You know, those that had a rough week last week probably really want to qualify and don't care about practice, but I would say I prefer practice ultimately to get set up for the race and you know, try and figure out what we need to do to make our Faststone Mustang better here than we've been in the past. It's not been my best track, so I'll take the practice here.
Having been to 3 different repaves this year, how would you assess Sonoma, Wilkesboro, and then Iowa last weekend? How would you assess those 3, and do you feel like they're better than repaves we've seen in the past?
Yeah, you know, the Iowa one was a little rocky to start on the weekend, but Sonoma and North Wilkesboro pleasantly surprised me. Did feel like we did not go through some of that dartiness and you know, just edgy feeling of those repays that we've had in the past. So yeah, they certainly seem to be better this go around. You know, I did the track walk this morning, and honestly, walking around here, I'm shocked that this one hasn't been repaved and that Iowa was, because this place is it's got a lot of character. And do not take this in any way as me trying to push a repave here. I don't want that. The character is great. I'm just surprised that that this one's hanging on when others haven't. So that being said, it's the repays that we have had. Yeah, I would say they've been much better than anticipated and better than ones that we've seen in the past. Even you think back to Atlanta, that wasn't that long ago, and that one was very tricky for several races where we got into North Wilkesboro, and it was just good from the start. Sonoma, it did not feel like you had those instances where you get just a little offline and it's just no man's land. It was actually some good racing at a lot of points during the race. So for whatever reason, kudos. It's been a lot better this go around.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.